history. No, I'm mythology. Nah, I don't care what I am. I'm free.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 unscripted animated moments that were left in the movie.
Now, 30 days have... No, well, an unbirthday, if you have a birthday, then you... She doesn't know what an unbirthday is.
For this list, we'll be looking at reported ad-libs, gaffs, impromptu dialogue, and happy accidents that were too good to be cut from the final film. Were you surprised to learn that any of these moments were ad-libbed? Leave your unscripted comments below. Number 20. Seinfeld buzzes with improv. B-movie. Improvised dialogue seems inevitable when you have comedic extraordinaire Jerry Seinfeld buzzing around the recording studio. The comedian leaned into his stellar skill set and paved the way for his castmates to do the same. Remember when Vanessa convinces Barry to stay for coffee?
Coffee?
Well, I don't want to put you out unless you're making anyway.
Oh, it takes 2 minutes.
Really?
It's just coffee.
I hate to impose.
Don't be ridiculous.
Actually, I would love a cup.
We got this caffeinated scene from a rift exchange between the two actors. Needless to say, they brewed up something special. As Seinfeld told Rotten Tomatoes, it's off-the-cuff moments like these that made the script feel fresh.
It's like your first album calling it your greatest hits.
Chris Rock, who voices Moose Blood the Mosquito, also got in on the improv action. His comedy made his small role a standout character. When it comes to improv, this cast is the bee's knees.
Would you excuse me? My mosquito associate here will be able to help you.
Sorry I'm late.
He's a lawyer too?
Ma'am, I was already a blood-sucking parasite. All I needed was a briefcase.
Number 19. Eating lead and ghosted by Jell-O. Monsters vs. Aliens.
Hi, I'm benzoate ostelazine bicarbonate. Or you can call me Bob. Whichever's easier. Did I come on too strong? I'm sorry.
Typically, voice actors are invited to record their lines separately. To an unseasoned improviser, this could prove quite challenging. However, it seems like a walk in the park in the talented hands of comedy giants like Seth Rogen, Hugh Laurie, Will Arnett, Rainn Wilson, and more. When Colbert's President Hathaway discovers the aliens' appetite for lead, he throws out this amusing quip.
Wheels up, Papa Bear's on the move. Wait. So that's how you want to play it? Eat lead, alien robot! Evidently they eat lead.
There's another great point where poor Bob gets snubbed by a plate of Jell-O, and while receiving a fake number, even from a wobbly dessert, is heartbreaking. It gave Rogen an opening to come up with this hilarious line.
I don't think your parents like me, and I think that Jell-O gave me a fake phone number.
This cast's comedic skills are out of this world and monstrously hilarious. Number 18. A hustler must be quick on their feet. Zootopia. In this anthropomorphic world, an ambitious rabbit called Judy Hopps makes an unlikely alliance with Nick Wilde, a con artist fox. The two share a scene at the ice cream parlor where prejudice stands between Wilde and a Jumbo Pop.
Look, you probably can't read, Fox, but the sign says, "We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, so beat it."
You're holding up the line.
When the fast-thinking rabbit comes to his aid, Nick suddenly realizes he doesn't have his wallet. But this freeloading scheme was a last-minute addition from Jason Bateman's Fox.
Keep the change.
Officer, I can't thank you enough. So kind, really. Can I pay you back?
Oh no, my treat.
Since the actor recorded several versions of this scene, we can't help but wonder what didn't make the cut. Well, a good hustler does have to be a quick thinker, and Bateman's cunning like a fox approach was just right.
You liar!
It's called a hustle, sweetheart. And I'm not the liar. He is.
Hey!
Number 17. Sebastian's crabsolutely perfect ad-libs. The Little Mermaid. According to Samuel E. Wright, who voiced the crabulous crustacean, the filmmakers weren't initially too keen on him improvising.
So they brought me in the studio, and they just turned the mic on, and I went nuts. I just said anything I wanted to say like Sebastian. I talked like him for 3 hours, and some of it found its way into the movie.
But the filmmakers eventually had a change of heart and let him dive deeper into the comedic side of the character. Wright returned to the recording booth and spent roughly 3 hours channeling King Triton's right-hand crab and just letting loose.
Teenagers. They think they know everything.
Thankfully, parts of Wright's improv ended up in the film, creating some of the character's most iconic and hilarious lines. The line about teenagers was a particularly brilliant stroke of genius from the actor.
teenagers. They think they know everything. Give them an inch, they swim all over you. That was something I just made up, so you know what I mean?
It's a good thing the creators didn't let this opportunity float away. Number 16. Rat telenovela, Encanto. Encanto joins the ranks of animated film scripts with extra dialogue thanks to multiple great moments. Luisa actress Jessica Darrow went off script when she added an awesome cry of defeat.
Oh, I'm a loser!
Outside of this moment, we also got a brilliant gag thought up by John Leguizamo. While his character Bruno lived out a solitary life, he had to get creative to stay entertained. This prompted him to cast his rat friends in an array of television shows that included at least one telenovela.
Free entertainment. So what do you like? What do you like? You like sports?
Game shows.
Telenovelas.
According to co-director and co-writer Charisse Castro-Smith, this was a Leguizamo original and one of her favorite jokes in the entire film. His brief synopsis is so engaging that we're already invested in the story and want to hear more.
Their love could never be.
I don't understand.
Well, because she's his aunt and she has amnesia, so she can't remember that she's his aunt. It's like a...
Number 15. Samantha, Frozen 2. In Frozen, it's Elsa who works her magic to bring Olaf to life. But behind the scenes, that honor belongs to Josh Gad. The actor recalled playing around with the dialogue and being genuinely surprised when this gem made it into the first movie.
Yeah, I bet she's the nicest, gentlest, warmest person ever. Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
But that isn't the only Olaf classic line Gad's responsible for either. When the snowman gets separated from his friends in the Enchanted Forest, he calls out to them. Although we consider ourselves pretty Disney savvy, we didn't recall a Samantha being a part of the cast.
Anna, Elsa, Sven, Samantha. I don't even know it's Samantha.
It's a testament to Gad's comedic talents that such a simple ad-lib became so iconic that it was even featured on unofficial merch. This is an unscripted moment that's definitely worth melting for.
Someday I will see that this makes sense. One day when I'm old and wise, I'll think back and realize that these were all completely normal events.
Number 14. A hell of a good improviser, Hercules. The Disney-fied Hades is among the funniest animated villains of all time. This is largely thanks to James Woods' brilliantly unique, dry, and deadpan delivery of the god of the underworld's lines.
Hey, how you doing? Looking good. Nice dress. You auditioned for being in these movies. I guess everybody came in going, hello, I'm Hades. And I came in going, hey, Hades, how you doing? Nice to see you. Nice face. Yeah.
But did you know that this wasn't the original plan? The villainous deity was initially scripted as a serious character intended for Jack Nicholson, who eventually backed out of the movie. When Woods later took over the role, his breezy delivery was so good the character was rewritten for him.
You know, I haven't been this choked up since I got a hunk of moussaka caught in my throat. Huh? So is this an audience or a mosaic?
He was naturally also welcome to improvise. Not only did Woods shift the entire vibe of the film in a good way, but he created some of the film's most memorable moments. The actor called the role one of his, quote, personally cherished creations.
You start to think, my gosh, you know, Hades could be like the Wicked Witch. My great-great-great-great-grandchildren will hear me doing Hades. My favorite part of the game.
Number 13. King Julian likes to ad-lib, Madagascar franchise. We could have said Z-bravo to Chris Rock for his hilarious impromptu inputs as Marty. His ad-libs were making us laugh throughout the third installment.
Circus, Afro, circus, Afro, circus, Afro, polka dot, Afro.
Really?
However, we had to bow down to the master of improv, Sacha Baron Cohen, who voices King Julian. Before Cohen read for the role, the loony lemur only had a couple of lines, but that all changed after the actor came in and riffed in an accent for nearly 10 minutes.
Your heinous comment will be stricken from the record. Does anyone else have the heebie-jeebies? No! Good! So shut up!
In the skillful hands of the comedic icon, King Julian swung straight into our hearts with some of the funniest and kookiest lines. He also led a musical performance that we're still bopping to today.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Yeah, I like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Yeah, I like to move it.
Number 12, a tidal wave of improv, Surf's Up. The filmmakers snubbed animation conventions and had their actors record scenes together for this parody mockumentary. Typically, the directors provided a loose synopsis for any given scene, and the cast was encouraged to ride that improv wave the rest of the way. The idea was to make the dialogue sound as authentic as normal conversations.
We did have those moments where we physically would like hold on to each other. The scene with Shai and Zoe, where I'm trying to push him, we literally kind of reenacted this scene.
When Shia LaBeouf arrived late for a recording session, his castmates were told to act as if his character was late for an interview.
And it's like a big wave folding and crusting and crashing and just creating a lot of foam, like a double latte with a shot of sugar-free vanilla.
In a real testament to their chemistry and comedic chops, the scene ended up in the movie. Surf's Up is an underappreciated flick, but it's flippin' great.
You gonna kiss her or what? What's going on?
Come on, Joe, we gotta go.
Dude, you were saying you were in love with
No, I didn't say
All right, look, he really digs
Joe,
you.
listen,
He likes you, though. See ya.
Number 11, The Tea Party, Alice in Wonderland. The Mad Hatter's Tea Party is one of the best scenes from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It's also where we learned what an unbirthday is, and that you can't fix a watch with mustard.
Birthday? My dear child, this is not a birthday party.
Of course not. This is an unbirthday party.
However, did you know that Edwin, who voiced the Hatter, came up with most of the dialogue? Apparently, this scene resulted from Wynn and Jerry Colonna, who voiced the March Hare, just messing around while the recording equipment was still running.
My dear child, this is not a birthday party.
Of course not, silly. This is an unbirthday party.
Walt Disney himself apparently overheard their talks and insisted on putting their lines in the movie. It's such a memorably wacky interaction and so mad that it would certainly make the Hatter and Hare incredibly proud. Number 10. Buzz Has a Meltdown, Toy Story. Tim Allen, who famously voices the Space Ranger known as Buzz Lightyear, was no stranger to ad-libbing during Toy Story's early days. Indeed, some of his most memorable lines weren't even in the original script. For example, sad, strange little man was entirely Allen's invention.
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell.
Oh yeah? Well, good riddance, you loony!
But one of his funniest bits of improv happens during the scene where Buzz finally comes to terms with what he really is. And let's just say he's not taking it well.
Look at me, I can't even fly out of a window. But the hat looked good. Tell me the hat looked good. The apron is a bit much.
Of course, Allen wasn't the only one flexing his ad-libbing chops. Remember that scene where Woody puts on a covert puppet show for his friends to convince them that Buzz is all right?
Hey, look, it's Buzz! Hey, Buzz, let's show the guys our new secret best friends handshake. Give me 5, man.
Something screwy here.
So you see, we're friends now, guys, aren't we, Buzz?
Well, credit goes to Mr. Tom Hanks for that one. Number 9. Who does Wilbur's dad look like? Meet the Robinsons. In this futuristic Disney flick, our protagonist Lewis meets Wilbur Robinson, a kid who claims to be from the future.
All right, didn't want to pull rank on you, but you forced my hand. Special Agent Wilbur Robinson of the TCTF.
The what?
Time Continuum Task Force. I'm here to protect you.
Later on, he also meets the rest of the Robinson family, except Wilbur's dad, Cornelius. So he inquires after the mysterious figure.
Go on.
Lucila's married to Bud and your dad Cornelius is their son. What does Cornelius look like?
Tom Selleck.
Okay.
While it was scripted, Wilbur's response was originally just meant to be a placeholder that they expected to change. We can totally believe this, considering that Cornelius looks nothing like Tom Selleck.
You don't look like a Lewis. You look more like a...
Cornelius. I get that a lot.
However, they ultimately decided to stick with the name drop, and even hired the actor as a result, making this entry a bit different from the rest on this list. There's no denying Selleck's distinct voice is a welcome addition to the film, though.
She's right. I'd just go with it if I were you. And I am.
Then you're absolutely right.
It just goes to show that sometimes the most unexpected moments can have the best payoff. Number 8. Bucky or Binky? Brother Bear.
Yes, you and your friend Binky. I'm like, it's Bucky. So get it right. And they put it in.
One of Disney's more underappreciated films, Brother Bear, features Joaquin Phoenix as Kenai, a young man turned into a bear as punishment for killing one in a fit of rage. He meets an orphaned bear cub called Coda, who he eventually takes under his paw.
Okay, fine. If you can magically get me down, I'll go with you to this...
Salmon run.
Whatever. But if you can't, you turn around, walk away, and never come back, ever.
It's a rocky journey at first, since the two mammals struggle to find common ground. During one scene, Phoenix flubbed his lines, calling a character named Bucky Binky instead.
I don't care about the time you and Binky found, the world's biggest pine cone ever.
First of all, his name's Bucky, not Binky. Second, it wasn't a pine cone, it was a pine nut. And it was huge, even bigger than your fat head.
Jeremy Suarez, who voiced the bear cub, didn't miss a beat in correcting his co-star and riffing off the mistake.
I mean, I don't want to brag or nothing, but I got some moves.
His quick wit was so brilliant and funny that it was left in the movie's final cut. Number 7. Morph Needs to Get the Map. Treasure Planet. Another animated flick that doesn't get nearly enough love, Treasure Planet took the classic Treasure Island story and blasted off into space. It had a great premise, a phenomenal cast, and plenty of humor, but it ultimately fell under the radar.
You listen to me, James Hawkins. You got the makings of greatness in you, but you gotta take the helm and chart your own course.
Perhaps if audiences were aware of just how talented the voice cast is, things might have turned out differently. For instance, did you know that the scene where Silver and Jim try to convince Morph to bring them the map was actually totally made up by Brian Murray and Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Morph, bring it here. Morph, come here.
Come here, boy.
Morph, over here.
Come to your dad.
Come here, boy.
Come on, Morph. Come on.
Morph.
Talk about some real talent. Also, apparently, David Hyde Pierce, who voiced Dr. Doppler, came up with the line, "Go Delbert, go Delbert."
All my life I've been waiting for an opportunity like this, and here it is, screaming! Go Delbert, go Delbert, go—
Okay, you're both grounded!
Number 6. Iago's Rant. Aladdin. When you think of Aladdin's greatest ad-lib machine, we imagine Robin Williams probably springs to mind. But he wasn't the animation's only genius improviser.
I prepare like De Niro. I lived with a family of parrots for a year. And, no, I did no preparation. I just went in and just had fun with it.
Renowned comedian and voice actor Gilbert Gottfried created the instantly recognizable sound of Jafar's hilariously hot-tempered sidekick Iago. According to an interview with the late comedian, he was given plenty of free rein to improvise.
When I first came in, they had the script and I was just talking into a mic, and that's when I just started improvising.
An extra on the Aladdin DVD highlights one instance where Iago's contemplating whether to pack a photo of himself and Jafar as they prepare to leave the palace.
We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out. I gotta start packing, Your Highness. Only essential. We gotta travel light. Bring the guns, the weapons, the knives. And how about this picture? I don't know. I think I'm making a weird face in it.
The commentary explains that they decided to keep it in because it made Williams laugh. We cannot think of a bigger compliment than that. Number 5. Fiona's Belch. Shrek. One of DreamWorks' most beloved franchises, Shrek put a unique spin on the traditional fairy tale romance. With a talented cast that includes Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz, there was plenty of room for ad-libbing. And indeed, some of the most memorable lines were thought up on the spot.
Whoa, hold on now. Where did that come from?
What?
That. Back there, that was amazing.
For instance, apparently Myers used this quote to chastise a director who was getting on his nerves.
All right, you're going the right way for a smack bottom.
Incidentally, he used it again while playing Austin Powers the following year.
Oh, you're going the right way for a smack bottom, and I don't care who knows it.
But perhaps the most impressive is the fact that Fiona's burp was a total happy accident.
Better out than in, I always say.
Well, it's no way to behave in front of a princess.
Thanks.
She's as nasty as you are.
Diaz had been drinking a soda while recording her lines, and we guess the fizz got to her. Still, she didn't break character, prompting Murphy to improvise his reaction too. Number 4. Lots of improv. The Emperor's New Groove. This underrated flick broke Disney's mold for elaborately planned films and became a breeding ground for improvisation instead. For example, Patrick Warburton made up Kronk's Mission Impossible-style theme song.
Oh, he's doing his own theme music?
Also, the entire squirrel running gag actually started as an inside joke among the creative team, but eventually made its way into the movie. Supposedly, David Spade ran amok with this creative freedom and often had to be reeled back in by the directors.
He's very quick at improvising, and a certain portion of the time we've just used what he's come up with.
Perhaps most amusingly, though, was Eartha Kitt being genuinely taken aback by Yzma's kitty voice.
Looking for this. Is that my voice? Is that my voice? Oh well.
She was supposedly so surprised that she stopped mid-line to ask if that was really her. Clearly, the directors liked it, and the rest, as they say, is history. Number 3. Thank You for Nothing. How to Train Your Dragon. Thanks to its largely comedic cast, the directors were sure to leave plenty of room for improvisation here.
And they're also extremely funny. And so we would bring them into the recording booth together, and they would just riff on each other.
Yeah, we rule! While there are a plethora of examples to choose from, we've decided to go with this one.
Toothless, what are you doing? We need her to like us! And now the spinning. Thank you for nothing, you useless reptile.
Yep, a bit of on-the-spot comedy from Hiccup voice actor Jay Baruchel became one of the most iconic and quotable moments from the film, if not the entire franchise. It was even included for promotional purposes, so clearly they knew they'd struck gold. The sequel also has its fair share of memorable lines, such as during this strained encounter between Stoic and Valka.
I pleaded so many times to stop the fighting, to find another answer, but did any of you listen?
This is why I never married. This and one other reason.
Craig Ferguson as Gobber ad-libbed this entertaining moment that no doubt left the adults in the audience in stitches. Number 2. Do the Hula, The Lion King. In the lead-up to this animated feature's big climax, Simba and the gang find their path to Pride Rock blocked by a pack of hyenas. Simba tells his friends that they'll need to create a diversion, which does not go down too well with Timon.
Come on, Timon, you guys have to create a diversion.
What do you want me to do, dress and drag and do the hula? Luau! If you're hungry for a hunk of fat and juicy meat, eat my body pulp here because the end of the treat.
However, it does lead to one of the flick's funniest and most memorable moments. Without Nathan Lane's quick wit, we may have never enjoyed the sights of a meerkat performing a luau with backing vocals from a warthog.
We just were on the floor in the booth. Yeah. It was and immediately said we can never use that in the movie.
That's right. Lane ad-libbed the line that led to this moment of pure comedy gold. It became such an iconic scene that it was even called back to in The Lion King 1.5.
Let's just cut to the chase, shall we?
Oh, sure.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Ice Cold Rita, Flushed Away. Hugh Jackman's improv skills are highly underrated.
Cold Rita, never did I meet a girl who's so cruel. I offered her a jewel.
Broken Promises, Beauty and the Beast. Cogsworth actor David Ogden Stiers improvised this perfectly timed wisecrack.
I want to do something for her. But what?
Well, there's the usual things, flowers, chocolates, promises you don't intend to keep.
What's your name again? Osmosis Jones. Quick thinking from Chris Rock turned a gaffe into a funny addition to the dialogue.
Hey, who's that? Other than Thrax, that is. Brandy! Leah, what are you doing here?
You really did it now, Jones.
Someone's hungry. Billy and Mandy's Big Boogie Adventure. We guess some actors do their best improvisation on an empty stomach.
I'm not scared! I can use something to eat! I'm really, really hungry!
Achilles, heel, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Kevin Kline came up with his horse's name all for this brilliant punchline.
Come on, boy. Achilles, heel.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The road to a quotable movie, The Road to El Dorado. Traditionally in animation, actors record their lines separately, and the dialogue's edited together later.
It's gonna be tougher than I thought.
Tulio, relax. All you have to do is smile, act godly, and follow my lead.
However, in this case, Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh shared a voice box so that they could easily riff off of one another and improv many of their lines together. Incidentally, this was an idea that was previously used by Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise in All Dogs Go to Heaven, who were also permitted to ad-lib. But back to El Dorado. We think we can all agree that the chemistry between Kline and Branagh is off the walls, and they make an incredibly compelling duo.
I am Miguel.
And I am Tulio.
And they call us Miguel and Tulio.
Also, thanks to their impromptu dialogue, many of us probably tried to drop the word loquacious into as many conversations as possible.
I will cut you to ribbons, fool. Such mediocrity. Let your sword do the talking. I will. It will be loquacious to a fault.
It's moments like this that make this movie as precious as El Dorado's gold. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.